You'll attend Rachel's wedding, right? Make sure that you wear a lot of makeup and buy yourself a nice dress. Otherwise, you'll stand out among the other beautiful guests. You need to try to cover up your ugliness. Please don't embarrass our family.
I do plan on going to Rachel's wedding. Do you have a problem with my usual makeup?
I'm a little surprised because most people look nice when they wear makeup. The makeup isn't doing anything for you. And why are you so confident about your looks? If I had your face, I'd make more of an effort to look prettier.
I can't change the way that I look, and you're being hurtful as always. I'm going to Rachel's wedding, so what is the problem here?
I'm worried that you're going to embarrass us at the wedding, that's all.
I'm married to Sean, but that doesn't mean that I get along with you. You're not related, so you don't have to tell anyone at Rachel's wedding that we're family.
Shouldn't you make more of an effort to get along with me?
I've tried. You just don't want to let me in or accept me for who I am.
You just need to promise me that you won't do anything to embarrass me or Rachel at her wedding. I'm going to avoid you at the wedding so that people don't know we're family. You should do the same.
Fine, but I just think that you're being really rude. You only care about your own feelings. I don't know how Sean's been putting up with you this whole life.
Shut up. If you make any more rude comments to me, I'm going to get Sean to divorce you.
I don't think that Sean would agree to that. Sean's an adult. He's not going to take your advice on what to do with his marriage. Besides, he's happy being married to me. I mean, if he were the type of person to get his own mother to make important life decisions for him, I wouldn't want to stay married to him.
Well, if you make fools out of us, I'm going to suggest to Sean that he divorce you. I'm sure that if I told him the reasons why I wanted him to leave you, he'd choose me over you. To be honest, we all want you to get divorced.
Okay, you told me this so many times. You have nothing to worry about. I won't do anything to embarrass you at Rachel's wedding. I assure you of that.
Even if you don't do anything, your presence in of itself is an embarrassment to this family.
Well, I can't do anything about that then. I'm busy, so I'm going to go now.
Will you come pick me up tomorrow?
Why would you need me to do that? Isn't it your wedding day?
It is, but I'm out drinking with friends now, and I don't think that I'll be able to wake up early and take myself to the venue. You're coming to the wedding anyways, so it won't be a problem for you, right?
I am, but I need time in the morning to get ready for your reception. I also have an appointment at the hairdresser to get my hair done.
Nobody is going to care about how you look. Don't you think that it's more important for the bride to arrive at the venue on time?
You're rude, just like your mother. Can't you ask your parents or your fiancé instead?
They aren't able to pick me up, which is why I'm asking you to do it. Besides, I don't want my family to know that I'm out drinking the night before my wedding. I'm the bride. You need to listen to me. It's my big day.
Okay, fine, if you insist. Where should I meet you tomorrow morning then?
Come pick me up at my parents' place. I'm supposed to spend the night there tonight.
Well, if you're staying with your parents, can't you head to the wedding venue with them then?
Actually, my parents are staying at a hotel tonight, close to the wedding venue.
Then why don't you stay at the hotel with them? Wouldn't that be more practical?
Everyone thinks that I'll be staying at the hotel too, but I have my reasons for not going there. So can you take me to the hotel tomorrow morning instead of directly to the wedding venue?
I don't understand the situation. Rachel, what's going on?
Tonight is my bachelorette party, and I want to party hard before getting married. And I don't want my parents to get in the way of that. You understand that, right?
I think that I see what you're doing here. You're making everyone stay at a hotel so you can do whatever you want on your last night being single. And you're going to pretend that you stayed at a hotel and go to the wedding with the rest of your family, right?
That's right.
You have your own car, so why can't you drive to the hotel yourself?
I told my parents that I'd go to the hotel by train, so they'd get suspicious if I took the car.
I see, then why don't you take a taxi?
A taxi is going to be expensive. It'll be much cheaper if you came and picked me up. Thanks, and see you tomorrow.
So you're giving me no choice in the matter then?
Yes. Please come pick me up at 7 a.m. because I'm supposed to have breakfast with my family at 8 at the hotel.
That's pretty early, but fine. I'm only doing you this one favor because it's your wedding day. I'm never going to do something like this for you ever again.
Where are you? I heard that you were in a car accident.
Yes, that's right. I'm in the hospital right now.
So it's true then. You got into an accident.
I did, and I'm injured pretty badly.
How can you do this to us?
What do you mean? Are you saying that I purposely got myself into an accident?
You're still going to make it to the wedding though, right?
What?
It's Rachel's wedding today. You can't not be there. What will people think?
The accident wasn't my fault. Another car crashed into me and just ran from the scene. I'm in a lot of pain right now. There's no way that I'll be able to attend the wedding in my condition.
You can't cancel on us at the last minute. We need you at the wedding.
But you told me before that you didn't want to see my ugly face at the wedding. I don't think that anyone will miss seeing me today.
You just want to embarrass our entire family. You're so selfish. If you're not coming to this wedding, I won't consider you a part of the family anymore.
You're not really making any sense to me right now, but whatever. Are you going to force me to go to the wedding with my injuries? I can't even walk without crutches right now.
Well, you can still limp.
You're unbelievable. I would say this is abuse.
If you don't want Sean to divorce you, I suggest you come to this wedding.
Why do I have to be punished with divorce just because I can't make it to one wedding?
It's important for our family. Rachel is getting married, and as my son's wife, you should be there.
How can you threaten someone who's just been in a car accident? Don't you have any compassion? You're a terrible person. I have broken bones and I'm not well.
So what? Who cares about a few broken bones? Today is Rachel's big day. I am not going to let you miss that. I don't want to hear any excuses from you. You need to come to the wedding.
Fine, I'll come to the wedding since it seems that I have no choice in the matter.
I'm going to punch you in the face if you're late.
See, I understand.
The wedding starts in an hour. Hurry up.
I'm on my way, but I'm not responsible for what happens next.
What is your problem? I'm furious. How dare you?
How is this my fault? I went to the wedding like you asked me to. What is the problem? You said that if I didn't come to the wedding, you'd make Sean divorce me.
I didn't think that you'd actually come to the wedding limping and all bloody. The other wedding guests were in shock.
Yeah, I saw that. When they found out that Rachel was the one that crashed into my car and ran away from the scene. I'm sure that they can't stop talking about it. Are you shocked too?
Of course I am. And you didn't have to tell everyone what Rachel did. How could you do this to us?
Everyone was asking me about what happened to me, so I just told everyone the truth. I didn't do anything wrong. Would have been wrong of me to lie. Rachel's the one who committed the crime here. She should be arrested. How can you try to blame this on me?
I had no idea that Rachel did that to you. That's why I wanted you to come to the wedding. Had I known, I would have never asked you to come.
Well, it was Rachel's responsibility to tell you what happened. And as her mother, you're responsible too. Rachel was the one that asked me to pick her up by car at your house this morning. I parked my car in front of your house and was waiting when Rachel crashed into my car. I don't know whose car it was, but Rachel was speeding. She was driving under the influence and broke my bones. I should have never married into this family. You give me nothing but bad luck.
I know that you're making this all up. Rachel was staying at the hotel with us last night. She couldn't have been out drinking.
How can you be so sure that she stayed at the hotel? You didn't see her until breakfast this morning. And Rachel's fiancé told me that he hadn't seen her last night at the hotel. I went to your house to pick up Rachel because she asked me to. She basically gave me no choice. I can show you her text messages if you don't believe me. She told me that since it was her last night being single, she wanted to party with her friends. She drank too much and stayed out until the morning, which is why she rushed home in her car.
So it really was Rachel that hit you then? She caused a hit and run? But did you have to air our dirty laundry to all our wedding guests? Was that really necessary?
You forced me to come to the wedding. People were going to ask me questions. I had no choice. I didn't want to attend the wedding. I should have stayed at the hospital to rest and recover. I went because you wanted me to. Why aren't you more grateful?
Why do I have to be grateful? As Sean's wife, you're obligated to attend big family events. We had to cancel the wedding midway because of all the chaos that you caused. I'm angry, if anything. You ruined Rachel's wedding.
It was the groom that asked to cancel the wedding. It had nothing to do with me. The person you should be blaming is your daughter, Rachel. I'm the victim here. I think that you and Rachel owe me an apology at the very least.
I'm never gonna forgive you for any of this. I want you to divorce Sean. I never considered you family, and we're officially breaking up with you.
I don't care because I feel the same. I agree that it's best for me to break up with your family.
What the hell?
Sean is in complete agreement with me. We're cutting all ties with you.
What are you saying? I'm talking about you divorcing Sean.
At first, Sean didn't know what was going on, but when I explained everything to him, he's livid with the way that you and the rest of the family have been treating me. He's the only responsible one in your family. What Rachel did to me is a crime, and instead of worrying about the fact that your daughter is now a criminal, you're trying to blame the whole thing on me. Sean and I are making the right choice and cutting all ties with you.
But Sean is my son. You can't let him make the mistake of cutting ties with his own family. You're being selfish.
I think that you and Rachel are the selfish ones here. The police are on their way now, and they're going to arrest Rachel. And her fiancé was wise for canceling the wedding. I'm sure that he's not going to marry Rachel after this.
Who's gonna pay the cancellation fees? The groom has already returned all the wedding gifts and congratulatory gifts and money.
It's not the groom's fault. No one wants to marry a criminal. I think it makes sense for your family to pay the cancellation fees. It was lucky for him that he and Rachel weren't legally married yet.
How can you say that? Don't you feel sorry for Rachel? You're a part of this family.
I've never considered you family, and after what Rachel did to me, I'm cutting you out of my life. I mean, you're the one that told me that I didn't belong in this family in the first place. You wanted to kick me out from the day that Sean and I got married. So can you stop saying that we're family only when it serves you a purpose? I've had enough of your bullshit. Sean and I want nothing to do with this family anymore. As for your husband, he found out about the way that you've been mistreating me all this time, and he's not happy about it.
Don't bring my husband into this. Don't mess with my family any more than you already have.
I don't need to do anything. Your husband and the rest of your family were at the wedding, and they know what Rachel did to me. It's up to him with what he wants to do now, and he knows everything.
Melanie, I think you need to calm down. I think that we should sit down face to face and have a talk.
There isn't anything that I'd like to discuss with you. I don't want anything to do with you. You failed as a mother, and you need to take some responsibility for what Rachel did. And Rachel needs to pay for what she did to me. Goodbye now. It was nice knowing you. You said that I was an embarrassment to the family, but look how your real daughter turned out. Helen was horrified and embarrassed because in the end, Rachel was arrested, and news about the arrest and cancellation of the wedding spread fast. Because she was so oblivious to what was going on around her, she ended up ruining her life. The rest of her family and relatives cut her off completely, and she was forced to live the life of a recluse. Her husband divorced her as well. At first, Helen tried to rely on her son Sean and his wife Melanie, but for obvious reasons, they completely shut her out. She has nowhere to go now and no family to depend on, and we can only imagine that a life of despair awaits Helen. She did this to herself, if only she had been shrewd about her decisions. But it's too late to regret it now, because the damage has already been done.
Sarah's mom! Hey! Is now a good time?
Hey, Leo's mom. I'm on my lunch break right now, so it's fine.
Huh? Your lunch break? Does that mean you have a job?
That's right. I'm on my break at the minute.
Oh dear. I did have my suspicions, but it looks like I was right.
You were right? About what?
Your household is poor, right?
What? Why?
I mean, I get the impression your husband doesn't make much money.
Based on what?
He always goes to work in those worn-out clothes. And isn't a single room a bit of a cramped place to live for a family of 3? What's more, if your husband's on such a low salary that you have to work too, he must be a real good-for-nothing, no? How tragic!
No, we're not struggling to get by as much as you seem to think. I've been working at this company since before we got married.
Oh dear, I see. So even if you wanted to quit, you wouldn't be able to because of your scruffy good-for-nothing husband!
No, those clothes are a hobby of his.
Wearing worn-out clothes is a hobby?
He likes clothes with a damaged look.
That's actually a pretty good excuse. Lol. Oh well. I suppose that's what you get for choosing him in the first place.
Like I said, we're not struggling to get by as much as you seem to think.
But you can't make ends meet without the both of you working?
Both me and my husband are in positions of responsibility at our respective workplaces.
Maybe so, but a position of responsibility could mean all sorts of things. For example, being a factory manager at the biggest company in the region, like my husband. Oh, by the way, did you know he got promoted just as we moved here? It's hard to be a stay-at-home housewife in this day of age if your husband doesn't have a job like that, huh?
So was there a reason you contacted me?
Oopsie, forgive me. So you know how we only moved here a month ago? We were thinking of buying an extra cabinet and some shelves for the house. But we don't know where to get them. But of course, we can't go buy anything cheap.
In that case, how about checking out the furniture shop on the bypass? Naturally, they have domestically made stuff. But they also have trendy foreign furniture too. I recommend it.
Oh, really?
You should be able to get there on one stop from the bus station near your house.
You know a lot for someone so poor. Thanks!
Uh,
I didn't think it'd be nice if we went together, but that's probably no can do if you're at work.
Sorry, it's rush hour for us now. I can't clock off early without a good reason.
I see. Oh well, it can't be helped. I'm sure you could take every last hour you can get to scrape by whatever money you can.
I'm gonna head back to work now, so was that all?
Yeah, sorry, I kept you for so long.
Bye. Leo's mom, do you have a minute?
I do. What is it?
Sarah wouldn't stop crying when I went to pick her up after kindergarten today.
Oh?
When the teacher asked her why, apparently she told him Leo said,
You'll catch pox if you play with poor people.
"What have you been telling him?"
Oh, come on. Don't get so upset. I'm just teaching my son the rules of the world.
Rules?
Actually, it might be hard to understand for a low-income family.
Excuse me?
After all, I heard you hardly ever show up to our mother's meetings, where we all go out for lunch or tea.
Well, I'm working, so I can't do weekdays.
Which means, unlike me and the other wealthy moms who can afford to be stay-at-home housewives, you can't make ends meet unless both of you and your husband are out working.
I do my best to tag along when they invite me on my days off.
But it's true that your attendance rate is low. Basically, you use your job as a pretext not to go so you can keep the expenses down. You know, it's difficult for us to get along with people with such drastically lower standards of living because we have to be careful not to upset you. That's why I'm sorry, but please join a group of low-class moms instead.
Low-class moms? I mean, I don't really care, but I don't think you should be indoctrinating your children with your own prejudices.
Good grief, you just don't get it, do you? Associating with poor children is bad for my son's intellectual and cultural development. It's a parent's duty to keep a watchful eye and choose good friends for their child.
Oh, by the way, I heard you said the same things to Aya's mom because she's a single mother. You should stop teaching your children to discriminate against people because of perceived notions of superiority and inferiority based on how much money they make.
Yeah. If you're going to make comments like that, at the very least, wait until you've improved your standard of living to the point that your husband doesn't have to wear worn-out clothes. Sarah's mom! I see your husband's going to work in worn-out clothes as usual. Poor people are so tragic!
Good evening. Whether you insult me out of the blue is your business, but at least say hello first.
I have an example to share with you of what it's like to be a real celebrity. So I very kindly decided to message you.
Please, go ahead. Now that you mention it, you haven't messaged me in over a month. And you ignored me when I went to pick up my daughter from the kindergarten. Apparently, you were also whispering something about worn-out clothes when my husband went to pick her up after work.
Good grief, stop sulking. You should feel honored that a celebrity like me is even talking to you.
So, what do you want? I'll be getting ready for bed soon.
Oh, do forgive me. It just so happened that the CEO of the company my husband works for invited the two of us to go to his house on Sunday.
Okay, so what?
Apparently, it's a housewarming party to celebrate the completion of the new two-family house for him to live in with his daughter and her husband. All of the company's top executives are invited. My husband's a factory manager, so of course he'll be going. And guess what? I heard his daughter and future successor, the managing director, is the same age as me. I can't see any harm in us getting along.
I see. Well, I hope it ends up being that easy for you.
Good grief, you're not jealous, are you? I suppose being from a family so poor the breadwinner has to wear clothes full of holes. You wouldn't possibly be able to appreciate the inner workings of the celebrity world. Lol. Looks like the gap in status between us got even bigger. I do hope you can forgive me. Oh, I just can't wait for Sunday. Sarah's mom? What are you doing in a place like this?
Oh, Leo's mom, hey.
Not hey! How on earth did you sneak in here? You can't do that! A daft groveler like you shouldn't be mingling with us in here. On top of that, I just saw you being all pally with the CEO, the owner of this house. What the hell are you scheming?
Scheming.
Oh no, you didn't! Are you having an affair? Aiming to marry into money, are we?
Oh, come on. There's no way I'd do that. Your thinking's gone way off the deep end.
Whatever. I don't give a damn about that reason. Hurry up and get out. It's embarrassing for me as a mother of the same kindergarten as you.
Even if you tell me to go,
Come on, make it snappy.
why do I have to get out of my own house?
What? Don't talk such nonsense. This house belongs to the CEO of the company my husband works at as a factory manager. I know you're probably tired from living in a life of poverty, but I think your delusions have gotten out of control.
I'm not delusional at all. This is my house.
Didn't I just tell you?
This is the two-family house me and my husband had built, so we could live with my dad.
What?
If you don't believe me, why don't you ask your husband, the factory manager? They see each other all the time at work, both being executives and all, so he'll tell you straight away.
Executives? Huh? Wait a second. What you're saying makes no sense. What about the one-room apartment you're living in?
The floor plan does include a one-room studio, but there's also a 5-room apartment attached. Me and my family are living in the 5-room apartment. It was only ever a place for us to stay temporarily while this place was being built, so we moved out last week.
Huh? What? But I never heard anything about that.
Yeah, because I never told you.
Why didn't you say something earlier? How awful of you to keep quiet this whole time.
You mean like, hey, my dad's the CEO. Guess what? My husband's the managing director? We're hardly familiar enough for me to tell you every detail of my private life.
What?
Besides, would you even have believed me if I told you? Wouldn't you just call me delusional without listening to a word I said no matter what I told you?
No, that was...
So, not correcting you was intentional. It's enough for me that my other mom friends, who I get along with, understand.
Huh? No way! That can't be! You can say what you like, but I know you've already been excluded from the other mom groups.
Even since the beginning, me and those moms you got along with so well since Leo's first day at kindergarten, we're never friends at all.
Huh? But aren't the celebrity moms the boss mom group at kindergarten? How can there be moms you can get along with when you're ostracized from the boss mom group? Isn't that a little odd? Explain yourself.
You do know that Boss Mom is just a name they gave themselves, right?
What? It is?
Sure. They can come from rich households. But you could say they're a little bit quirky. You'll probably understand better if you just think of them as the group who doesn't fit in with the other moms.
You're kidding! That's how the group formed? But what about your husband? What about those worn-out clothes? Surely he had no need to dress like that if his wife was really as important as you claimed you are.
Like I said, they're made to look damaged. It's fashion. He wears them because he likes them.
What? Fashion?
My husband also works for a company as their fashion designer. They have a free dress code, so he's free to coordinate his outfits in line with his taste as much as he likes.
I don't understand.
By the way, the guy in the tailored jacket's speaking to my dad, the CEO right now.
Oh, that handsome devil?
That's my husband.
No, that can't be. He's the man who wears the ripped clothes?
I told you, they're made to look that way. He is capable of discerning the time and place to wear certain things, so relax.
But...
Excuse me. My dad's asking me to give an address to the group. I have to go now. Bye. My dad called me over as I was messaging on my phone in the corner. As I gave my speech with mic in hand, I caught sight of Leo's mom quietly sneaking out. I did wonder if she'd give up, but at the beginning of next week, she did a spectacular about-face and was suddenly trying to make everyone think we were best friends. However, word of her attitude had already spread by then, so all the other moms had had enough of her. She even got kicked out of the self-proclaimed boss mom group, and now she's completely alone. On the other hand, our kids are getting along just fine now. I'm so relieved about that. A few days later, her husband, the factory manager, apologized to me profusely. After seeing his wife's line chat history and wanting to keep a closer eye on her around Leo, he decided they all move in with his parents. I'm fairly certain it's not a two-family house, though. Good luck, Leo's mom.